Welcome back, folks. Part 2. It's still slightly doing the wiggly distortion effect, even though technically the source of it has been removed. Yeah, I just checked the footage of the first episode. It seems to be behaving itself, which is awesome. Because, like, I'd have done this series anyway, even if it... Even if it had been a pain in the ass to, like, resync audio up with the video again, like I've had to do with other PS2 games, but I've spotted this as well. You just can look at the script. You can literally look at this. He looks at his right hand contemplatively. So yeah, they just put the script in the game if you want to, you know, do a stage production of it. Let's investigate this.
So this was the legendary Janos Ordrin, reputed to have been the most ancient and diabolical vampire to have ever existed. According to folklore, he lived high in the cliffs of Nosgoth's northern mountains and preyed mercilessly on the defenseless villagers below. His reign of terror ended when the Sarafan finally hunted him down and tore his throbbing heart from his still-living body. This relic came to be known as the Heart of Darkness, and was supposedly imbued with the power to restore vampiric unlife. The Sarafan therefore guarded it carefully, lest the heart fall into the hands of their enemies. But I wondered, could Janos Ordrin truly have been as monstrous as depicted here? Or was this merely artistic license by the Sarafan, who sought to lionize themselves by demonizing their darkest enemy?
I have never heard the word lionize outside of this game. I'm starting to think maybe it's not a real word, but it just doesn't seem to exist outside of here. You'd assume demonize had an opposite. Lion might as well be it. I've never seen a lion in hell, have you? Or we're losing health over time again because we don't have fun spirit blades to count on anymore. It's become a tapeworm of the soul. Oh, that was a Squoofus. I was going to pick you up. I thought you were a weapon. Sorry there, Squoofy friend. I only need one hand to do telekinesis now. I've become more... Oh, hang on. Well, never mind then. Oh, I can immediate Reaver turns. But I'm gonna need his soul, is the reason I don't. I need your soul, please, because I've lost a lot of health just by standing around like a prat. Oh, well, at least those return. Right, I'm gonna rely on normal swords. They really made the Reaver a difficult proposition in this. Like, it's something you only use in an emergency here, rather than something you're sort of rewarded. A reward for, like, keeping your health at maximum.
Strange how my history came full circle. This chapel, I realized, was a memorial to my former Sarafan brethren and myself. All of us martyred here. And then so cruelly profaned by Cain when he imposed his gift on our noble corpses. For the first time, I beheld the image of my Sarafan self, memorialized here.
That's not a great statue. I hate to be the one to tell you.
How noble and pure I had been. And what a vile...
You are like 80% chin.
And a profound sense of...
What a cruel twist of fate that you should lose your lower jaw.
Welled up in me, so overwhelming I could barely contain it. All I wanted at this moment was to find Cain and destroy him.
You were all just sort of hanging out in the ceiling. Don't tell me to turn the Reaver on, I don't need it. I don't strictly need it right now. I don't block very well on this. I'm not used to that being an option. I keep only blocking the ones that are impossible to block. Come on. Secret seed sandwich governor. I know you've been governing all the secret seed sandwiches. It still does chip damage even when you do block, so that's why I didn't bother. Oh, it's the Dark Souls of video games. I do not need your axes. Who's all these then? Here we have Tyrell. The one that we've not seen the vampire equivalent of. Looking like someone who I can't place. He looks like someone else. So there you go, there's that fucking revelation for you. You're the fish one, I guess. Yeah, you can tell because your armor's blue. Yeah, far be it for me to accuse you of sticking to type, but you're Melchior, I think I saw in the cutscene. Yeah, you all rotted off. Doesn't matter how many glyphs you put on yourself, it doesn't save you from entropy. You're Dumara, remember. He gets a demon behind him for some reason, which you would think would be something saintly iconography would want to avoid, but I guess. I mean, I have demons emanating from my upper back, so like, I get ya. I just think it was an odd design decision. What's going on with your arm, sir? The sword hilt seems to be behind you, behind your shoulder, as does your forearm somehow. And you don't seem to have a very firm grip on the sword. He's just kneeling there like, oh, the fucking arm thing's happened again, hasn't it? This is how the giant demon behind me keeps getting out. I can hear him shouting. Just grin and bear it. Keep kneeling, it'll go away eventually. My joints will pop back in and then... And I guess that leaves you to be Zephon with the pointiest chin I ever did see. A perfect triangle of a man, just waiting to go on a crusade. And then we looked at the statue enough already. Well now, where did we come in? This looks like a different place. Yeah, here we go, spiral staircase. We want to go upstairs. It showed us upstairs, didn't it? One would assume that'd be the natural progression. Right, now, come on, get a move on. I'm forced to keep this session going, because you can't just save wherever in this game. There are specific save points, so I have to keep the session going until I can find one of them. Oh no, what a shame. That means I have to play more Soul Reaver 2. Oh, what a shame. Is there a phantom living in you? It doesn't really look like anything. I thought that there was a strange coincidence of hooded phantoms. The wall is screaming at me. Anyway. No, I won't explain. You either see it or you don't. It's useless. Useless, me trying to look at blades. You run in a very odd way. You've got odd runs sometimes, and that's... Oh. Oh.
I emerged, and for the first time beheld Nosgoth in its former glory. The land overflowed with abundant life and vitality, and I knew with certainty then that the world I had left behind was nothing more than the corpse of Nosgoth, a lifeless husk bled dry by the corruption of Cain's parasitic empire. This was the fragile world Cain sacrificed to preserve his own petty life and ambition, heedless of the profound cost. The sight only deepened my resolve. I sensed that the pillars lay to the northwest. If Cain truly waited to confront me there, I would not disappoint him.
That hits with a new fucking clarity. Anyway. Waft! Waft into the pond! I'm wafting into a pond. Whee! Very wiggly. The animations are a bit... Fish! Little fish! They're fishing off! Little creatures. There's so many little creatures in this game. I love it. Love it all. Right, remember where you're going now. Remember where you're going now, Benjamin of the Wet Regret. This way? Yes, I've got to activate your bonus. Sort of... What is that? Come on. Come the fuck on now. I remember the animations being slightly more convincing.
A wisp of the Reaver's energy was drawn to the ring, illuminating it. This created a beacon of sorts in the spirit world. If
Into
ever
my
I
own
found
snake
myself
leg.
depleted in the spectral realm, and my soul tossed on the ethereal winds, these beacons would draw me back to safety and restore me.
The Ouroboros is here to provide you with a checkpointing system for if you die as a ghost. Snake. Very close up, Snake. Time to operate. Yes, and then you open up the gates under the water and then the fish can escape. Good. This is all very good. More of these kicking about. I wonder if they're a significant part of the gameplay. I guess you'll just have to find out, won't you, mate? Yes. Now. Yeah, there we go. Got the right one first time. That's a rare occurrence. Fish! Many, many fish. I think there's a save point over there, yes. We can go and save the game. And then do a bit more of the game probably, and then leap. But we know where this is now.
Ancient obelisks were mysteriously attuned to my spiritual essence. By simply touching the symbol, I could safely preserve an imprint of my soul, and thus create a milestone to which I could return when weary, and from which I could resume my journey.
It's a save point. There's really a limit to how believable we can make the explanation of that, but we've got an obelisk about it, and the obelisk looks good. It's got wiggly blade and your handprint on it. But don't touch it when you're carrying a sword. We don't know how to deal with that. Oh. You just sort of saved it then. You've not even really... You didn't even ask me... Okay, I guess I didn't already have a save file on the... That's something I forgot to check, whether or not there was something I needed to delete or not, but... I could have just started a new one, I guess, but PS2 memory cards were not that spacious. Tappy tappy grass feet. Yes.
When I had only just escaped the stronghold, I sensed that in time my journey would return me full circle to this place. Infiltrating the fortress, however, would be
Metroidvania elements.
The balcony that had provided
That's what I'm explaining now. You come back later.
Leaving this massive gate
See?
as the only means of entry.
There's one right there.
The gates were sealed, but like the time-streaming chamber I had seen earlier, their operation was undoubtedly linked to that odd crystal mounted above the entrance.
It's not that difficult to say odd in an English accent. I can't even prove that's what you're going for. But now I need you to believe me when I say that I was holding down the button. He just didn't. He doesn't like me mocking his voice work. He takes it personal. There we go. Right. Okay, Rachel the 5-foot gremlin. Time now for... Oh, you already... Oh, for fuck that... I was gonna say a whole sentence about what it was time for, but you'll never know now. Absolute bastard.
Take the beast down.
You! It's time for the... You cut out my larynx! Nobody wants to know what time it is. And if you try and tell them what's on the schedule today, they'll execute you on the spot. It's strange. That seems unnecessary, all of what you've done. You do know that... I'm assuming that's a vampire, which of course I've got no fucking proof of. But, like, you do know you have to burn those, right? Like, otherwise you just take the spears out and they come back. Oh, you got a big puff boffinger. You got a puff boff launcher. Little cannon for you. Little cannon for you to have. The innovation never ceases. We've worked tirelessly to have a big gun. Well, fuck. Fuck, wait, I know how to... Look, I'll do it. There, you happy? You gonna stop reminding me now? You absolute shit. You shit Viper Supreme. Oh, festering. Fuck! Give me... Ow! I want your friend in my mouth tonight. There. Ow! Oh, don't do... Oh, I did spinny. I did... You need to pack all of that in. Frankly. Ugh. And you, I know what nighttime delights you have at 5 o'clock. But you don't, again, because nobody will tell you the schedule for fear of beheading. Go. Go into the valley. The valley of... Oh! Eventually I do get bored of the sword, and then just put that down and pick up a different weapon for a bit, but they're just generally a good thing to have. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. Do you want to... I'd forgotten about that little detail of how birds work in this game. Do you, Oh, now that I think about it, there may indeed be a reason for that. These aren't random disappearing birds, I don't think. Depending on how generous you want to be, there may be a reason the birds are vanishing. Alright? Whoa. They go up in puffs of puff. Off of your bridge. And near the spuff. You've got a dog! You've no longer got a dog. You can't suck souls when you're in the combat stance, which is interesting. Have I missed my window for really drinking at all? There we go. And you just spontaneously started bleeding more because you got bored waiting for me. This is just sort of here and not really anything. It looks like it should be more significant than it ever is. I don't know. I don't know what the plan is with that. I can tell you that we've got little sweepy. There's no sweepy secrets. There's not a lot of secrets generally. There's just progression. To my knowledge. Flumpy ponkers. Okay. And then there's that. And you've got a gun. You've got a gun and a weird bladed dog as well. Your dogs have swords and I don't understand why I'll eat your dog's soul as well, there's nothing stopping me. Call me Dog Muncher Jones. Because of what you just saw there. Where have you gone? Where have you gone, Checkpoint? Checkpoint, where'd you go? There he is. Thank you. I've got to make sure I put wisps in all the right snakes so that I can continue in the admittedly unlikely event that I die in the spectral realm. Beards. Beard bubbly. Another one of you. Oh, you exist now, huh? No, you did a little jump, but it won't protect you, I'm afraid. I can decapitate you regardless.
These vampires had nothing in common with the deranged jackals I left behind in Kane's derelict empire. They seemed to retain much of their former humanity. In this era, vampires were clearly not the uncontested predators we had been. These creatures were hunted mercilessly and oppressed. And while I still believed that vampirism was a plague and had to be wiped out, there was nothing noble or righteous in this crusade. This was simply ruthless persecution.
It bothers me how much you sweep that dissonance under the rug. To be honest. Fury! Oh, Nanny McPhee! You imply the existence of nannies McFi, McFo, and McFum.
How is this for a meme?
Yeah, I would try and kill me for that too. Go! Go! You can just do continuous whoopsie-doodles, but it doesn't juggle them forever. They do just sort of ignore it after a while. Once they land, you're in the sand, and then all bets are off. There's you. There's you in front of the gate, right? Gate, right? Skirthwith. No, don't piss. Don't piss in my bed sheets today. There's no longer a need for a nightmare. Obviously that opens this. 'Tis only natural. Yeah. Shuffed that with my leggy.
The pillars of Nosgoth. Pristine, whole, and
Real
uncorrupted.
long.
I had never beheld them in this undefiled state, yet something profound and indelible resonated within me at the sight. And there, waiting at the very heart of the pillars, was the canker that was destined to destroy them.
Dum-de-dum-din. Oh,
I know you're there, Raziel.
Mobius led me to you, Kane.
been waiting hours to say that.
Guessed you'd meet me here.
And if Mobius told you I was hidden on the underside of hell, would you throw yourself into oblivion to pursue me? Mobius trawls for the ignorant and unwary, hauling his gasping prey from the streams of their destinies. Stay out of his net, Raziel.
Spare me your
You're nothing but a
elaborate
fish of fate.
I have pursued you here for one purpose. You will pay for your betrayal.
The eternal
and
coy.
balance will thus be restored to Nosgoth.
And whose will is satisfied then? The will of Raziel or Mobius?
Would I be better manipulated by you, Kane? Now, turn and face me. The chase is over.
No.
Is it a chase?
No matter how much you
We are
snoof
merely
up behind me.
passengers on the wheel of destiny, describing a perfect circle to this point. We've been brought here for a reason. I've seen the beginning and the end of our story, however, and the tale is crude and ill-conceived. We must rewrite the ending of it. You and I.
Game just shitting on its own writers all of a sudden.
You shouldn't die a coward's death.
Isn't it customary to grant the condemned a final request?
I recall no such courtesy from you.
Indulge me, Raziel. All I ask is that you listen. This is the sublime moment of our undoing, Raziel. The ineffable fulcrum upon which swings the entirety of our history. This is where all of Nosgoth is betrayed. In this instant, Ariel, the Balance Guardian, is murdered by dark forces bent on overthrowing the Pillars. Her spirit is just now tearing free, lost in the ether, trying to find its way here. You have already seen how she comes to haunt these Pillars.
Bound here by your refusal to die. You are the reason this land becomes diseased. As long as you remain alive, you condemn Nosgoth to an eternity of decay.
Be still, Raziel. See this. As Ariel dies, I am being born to take her place as Balance Guardian. Such is my destiny.
My God.
Fuck, the waft of bad pillars has happened.
The
I read
moment of
about
my
this.
first cry, Ariel's beloved, the Guardian Nupraptor, finds her corpse. Racked with grief and tormented by suspicions of treachery, Nupraptor plunges into a madness which overflows and infects all of the Guardians who are symbiotically bound, including me. The repercussions of Ariel's assassination were expertly calculated. The entire circle descends into madness, and I am tainted at the moment of my birth, instantly rendered incapable of fulfilling the role destiny has prepared for me.
Shall I show you the same mercy you showed the rest of the circle then? You blithely murdered them to restore their pillars, yet your hand faltered when it came to the final sacrifice. What makes you exempt, Cain? You're merely the last man standing. Why condemn me for simply carrying out what you hadn't the courage to do yourself?
Let's drop the moral posturing, shall we? We both know there's no altruism in this pursuit. Your reckless indignation led you here. I counted on it.
Somehow I just knew that if I executed you for no real reason and murdered your entire clan, you would just be a real dick about it.
Hate me, but do it honestly. 30 years hence, I am presented with a dilemma. Let's call it a two-sided coin. If the coin falls one way, I sacrifice myself and thus restore the pillars. But as the last surviving vampire in Nosgoth, this would mean the annihilation of our species. Mobius made sure of that. If the coin lands on the reverse, I refuse the sacrifice and thus doom the pillars to an eternity of collapse. Either way, the game is rigged.
We agree then that the pillars are crucial and must be restored.
Yes,
That
Raziel.
wasn't the point he was
That's why
making
we've
at
come
all.
Full circle to this place.
So after all this, you make my case for me. To end this stalemate, you must die so that
This
new
is
guardians
so
can be
on the
born.
nose.
Pillars don't belong to them, Raziel.
They belong to me. Us. Belong to us.
Boundless, Cain.
There's a third option. A monumental secret, hidden in your very presence here. But it's a secret you have to discover for yourself. Unearth your destiny, Raziel. It's all laid out for you here.
You said it yourself, Cain. There are only two sides to your coin.
Apparently so. But suppose you throw a coin enough times. Suppose one day it lands on its edge.
So are we going to talk about the genocide you did, or no? Okay. Yeah, so begins Kane's transition into... Oh! Does it happen over there? Yeah, Kane just sort of becomes a protagonist now. and a lot of what he did just sort of gets swept under the rug. And I don't know if it was just because there was a period of time where I had Soul Reaver 2 but not Soul Reaver 1 anymore, and like hadn't remembered any of that. And now do, obviously, but that's not aged great. So, yeah, we're in for that, but I guess we'll stop the episode again, because I'm sort of getting a bit rambly now. Yeah, thank you for watching. I shall see you next... That was a spooky ghost, I apologise. Goodbye. Pat, pat, pat.